Greetings, everybody. This is Silver Thunder. That is my name. I am a gaming squirrel that is extraordinarily normal. And welcome. Today I'm going to be bringing you some more Call of Duty Black Ops 1 gameplay. Team Deathmatch using the Plutonium mod and the Bot Warfare mod, because I don't really have the time or patience to play with other human beings and or squirrels that might be playing. And I also might lack the skill to do so as well. We are going to be talking today about a very interesting topic that it's fun to reflect on. Both me and my human avatar were kind of chatting about our very similar, oddly similar experiences with this. Today we're going to be talking about public service and unhinged customer or patient stories that come with that, whether you're in medical care or fast food. That is a reality for a lot of us, especially, dashing young rodents like myself at my age. And I'm sure many of you also dashing folks as well. Public service, whether you are in it as a career or it was a stepping stone to something else, it is quite the heck of a thing, let me tell you. It was funny, my wife and I were also talking about this, and she and I both have come to the consensus that before you're able to hold any important offices in society, elected positions, other kind of undefined leadership roles, you really need to have some baseline experience with public service, because if there is anything that'll cement your view of the depravity of man and squirrel kind, it is dealing with the general public. I have a smattering of interesting stories from my time in the pharmacy. Pharmacy business is really interesting. I never have been treated worse by people than whenever I worked at a very large corporate chain pharmacy that you may or may not know. Even whenever I worked at a gas station, I was treated better by the people there, by the customers there, than I was at the pharmacy that I worked at. People are very emotional about medications, which, from a patient care perspective, I can understand. It's easy to get worked up about those sort of things. But, I had a couple of interesting ones. There was this one gentleman, just to give a little anecdote of mine, there was one gentleman who was really insistent on filling his prescription quite early, a prescription that really should not be filled early, if you catch my drift. And, we told him, very straight up, can't do, we're not able to do this, but if you come back on such and such a day, we will be glad to fill the prescription. Was not satisfied with that answer. He went on a tirade that, golly Neds, made the hair on the back of my tail stand up, let me tell you what. And, I had called over my manager at the time, and the manager, of course, reiterated the information I'd already given that patient. And, instead of taking it in stride, he takes his index finger, points straight up at the ceiling, and says, "See these lights? Get a good look at them. Because whenever you come in tomorrow, it'll be awful dark. I'm turning this place into the Better Business Bureau." Well, to quote Emperor Palpatine, I'm afraid that those lights were quite operational the next morning. And, I don't know if I ever saw that gentleman again. So, interesting times. I wouldn't trade him for the world. Also had some other funny people, a little bit less hostile, but there would always be this one fella who had really good insurance, so he didn't really often have a copay whatsoever for his medications. But each and every time he would have a copay, he would look at me and he'd be like, "Come on, man, let me sweep the floor. Now I can't go to McDonald's and buy my girl a cheeseburger." Forever etched into my nutty little brain. But yeah, what are your experiences and stories, nightmares, funny little quips, anything in between? I really want to know. Please throw them up in the comments. I really want to engage more with that, being a fellow public service worker myself. And I will have to say, if you have not ever worked in public service, please be kind to those who are. Even if they are giving you tood, even if, the service is not necessarily 5-star or anything like that, just be kind to your public service employees, especially like, oh man, especially fast food workers. I honestly think out of almost any other career in public service, they really do have it the roughest. And they really do get a brunt of a lot of ire, which I think is just completely unnecessary, you know? Would you really want to rile up the people that are making your food or that are, filling your medications, things like that, More than anything, treat others how you would want to be treated. Golden rule, right? And it's very easily forgotten, I'm not a perfect squirrel myself. Emotions can run high. I have no idea what these guys are doing. This is the one time that the bots were actually acting like human players, just kind of huddling up, having a conference there. And you'll see at the end of this match, actually, they will still be having that same conversation. So maybe they're talking about public service nightmares as well. It's probably one of the funniest things in this match. But yeah, like I said, just be kind to your public service worker of choice, be it in pharmacy, be it in fast food, or really, just set it as a general guideline to everyone. You don't know what kind of day someone is having. You don't know what exactly the struggles they're going through, what kind of bad news that they may have gotten earlier in the day. And, you never know what your words might do, how God might use those words, or, how those words can be a learning opportunity, be it a negative or positive one, for both you and the individual involved. Well, this match was a defeat, unfortunately, but like I said, there's going to be a mix of victories and defeats in these commentaries, but that is... Here's the conference. I really wish I knew what they were talking about. Very interesting discussion that was going on between those gentlemen in there. Well, anyway, that's going to wrap this one up. Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been Silver Thunder, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.